I've just been told that Fox News is reporting that the bill has been pulled.
So if the bill has been pulled, that means they simply don't have the votes.
So what happens from here?
What happens from here is I think they go back and they regroup. I think leadership will have a very long
Do they push this
meeting.
to the side and go on to tax reform, or is that not the way to go?
They need another reconciliation bill to bring up the taxes. That's why we had 2 reconciliation bills this year, one to deal with health care, one to deal with taxes. So I suspect what they'll do is they'll go back, talk to the members of the Republican conference and say, what can we pass?
And Ashley, you have a very sophisticated audience. They know that tax reform is going to be at least as much of a dogfight inside the Republican Party as health care just was. You know very well, better than most, that this support for this border adjustment tax that Paul Ryan is championing has just as many opponents, starting with Tom Cotton and others on the Senate side. Walmart's based in Arkansas, so it's no surprise for Cotton. Every person who shops at Walmart sees the thing that Ryan is championing as a 30% increase of the cost that they're paying because of this tax on imported goods. So the notion that somehow, it would be this walk in the park to go with tax reform, that's a fantasy. And infrastructure, the Freedom Caucus people think, we just did a highway bill. We're not going to spend $1 trillion on that incidentally would put us further in debt. So again, that's not a piece of cake either. So
the realities of Washington are starting to settle in, especially when we talk about the differences within the Republican Party itself. I mean, this really is a severe blow to Donald Trump and his administration, because it really does, to Richard's point, raise all sorts of questions about this pro-growth agenda that got him elected, that sent the market skyrocketing. Where do we go from here?
Well, I think this is a real time to have soul-searching at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue and on the other end in the Capitol building. And Republicans better get their act together and say, you know what? We called an audible, we pulled the bill, but if we don't get a package that can pass the House, that can go to the Senate, that the President can sign, the American people are going to look at us and say, why do we bother electing you to govern?